This program is brought to you by UCKG.
Coming up, have you ever found yourself ruining the perfect relationship? Have you ever lost the job you loved because you lost motivation? Or, like tonight's guest, did you grow up in a happy household with a supportive family only to let them and yourself down? Well, the good news is it's not too late to change. Tonight we're looking at self-sabotage and we're asking why we sabotage good things and how God can help you to change this. All in the next hour of Finding Answers.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Finding Answers. Tonight's topic is called Stop Sabotaging Your Success. And maybe there are many opportunities for you to be successful. Successful in your career, successful in relationships, successful in your health. But for some reason, you are sabotaging that success. You are injecting yourself with drugs. You are, every time that good person comes along, you hurt that person deliberately because, I don't know, it could be because you've gone through a rocky time in your past, right? Maybe you are eating yourself sick. You should be healthy by now, but things are just going wrong all the time, not because of external circumstances or people, but because of you. Before we speak more about this topic, let's have a look at a real-life testimony of someone who, through faith, was able to achieve the impossible.
I didn't believe that I could change. I didn't believe that I could be a different person, a new person. I didn't think I was good enough for anything. I didn't think I could make a difference. I became really suicidal. I wanted to die, I really did, because I thought, okay, if I can't change, if I can't make a difference, if I'm not good enough for anything, I didn't really see the point of living. But at the same time, I was scared of dying, to the point that to cross the roads even, I would never cross the roads like halfway, like the midpoint of crossing the roads. I would always make sure I went to the traffic light, and even going to the traffic light to cross, I was really paranoid. A relationship that I got involved in led me to believe that I wasn't good enough. But then not only from what I was hearing, also for what I was seeing as well, to me I thought it was true because there was many things that I wasn't good at, many things I could not do. So I believed that I wasn't good enough. I believed that everything I'd been through was just preparing me for more suffering in the future. They were telling me negative things, but I saw it as a way, I thought it was true. When they'll say these negative things, I didn't see they were doing something wrong. I just thought it was true, what they're saying, because I could see it with my own eyes. That's what created my mindset. My mindset was based upon everything I'd been through and things that I was hearing. So I'll hear negative things at home as well, like I wasn't good enough. Just similar things I'll hear at home too. So for me, it wasn't really anything new. The only thing is that this person, I respected this person. I thought this person was there to, cared for me. So this all started from when I was young, not too young, probably about 10, 11. So yeah, so it didn't really, what I used to face at home, it didn't really affect me that much because I still, as I was growing up, I was still just doing things, living my life. I was just living as a normal person, to be honest. When I was alone, I'd get so many thoughts. I wake up in the morning, so many thoughts in my mind, just everything, just flashbacks. I'd be hearing the same things. The same things that they'll tell me, I was hearing those same things over and over again in my mind. Even after everything had stopped, I still used to remember everything. Just randomly, I just remember be sitting down, just thinking, it would just come into my mind like a cycle. So even though I was not facing those situations anymore, it was still affecting me as if it was happening at present. I started realizing that this was the big problem when I was in the help center. I'll be trying to change, but I didn't realize why I wasn't changing. I didn't realize why I wasn't moving forward. I had to really look deep down and see why I wasn't changing. And I found that my mind was really negative. I saw that I didn't believe that I could change. The challenges I faced was not believing, because of course faith is the assurance you believing in something that you cannot see. And for me, I hadn't really seen my change yet, but I didn't believe it was possible because of everything I'd been through, because of my negative mindset. The situations that I was facing in a relationship really led me not to believe in myself, not to believe that I could change, because I allowed those words, rather than making me someone else stronger and tougher, I allowed those words to put me down. I believed it as I heard it. That's how I took it. I took it as I heard it. I didn't really digest it or think that maybe it means something else or means that. I just saw it as how it was said. Upon coming to the church, I would hear the word of God, and I believed that was true. I knew that was true, but I didn't really think it applied to myself. So I believed it for other people, but I didn't really believe that I could change, that I could really receive the promises of God. I found it really hard to really take the word of God on board, because whenever I would hear something positive, I would receive it with joy. I'd be so glad, I'd be happy, I'd be encouraged, motivated. But then later on, everything I'd been through, everything I'd heard already from someone that I respected, those words will come back in my mind and will eliminate, will like erase the positive things that I had received. So I had to realize that to believe is a choice that I have to make. So I would take one thing, like just maybe a small sentence from the word of God, and every day the same thing, I would meditate on that. I would really read and really think about what I was reading, really repeat it to myself until I really believed. I chose to put my faith in that word that I had received. So for example, if I read something that said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and then later on during the day, during the week, I get thoughts saying, oh, I can't do that. No, that's not possible. I can't do that. Like, you know you can't do that. When I get those thoughts in my mind, then I would use the words that I took and say, no, I can do everything. I can do all things through Christ. I can do anything. So that's how things started changing for me. So after just a couple of months, then I started seeing that I was getting more positive, believing in myself more, and just doing things that I didn't really do before. Today, I do believe in myself. I'm still working, still pushing for my potential, and I believe in my potential. I believe in the Meredith that I can and will become.
Welcome back. So with me tonight, as usual, as always, is Rachel. Good evening, Rachel.
Good evening, Pastor.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Have you ever self-sabotaged yourself?
Self-sabotaged myself. Kind of, yes. Not deliberately, but yeah. Probably more self-control with food.
Okay.
But I know there are people that have done a lot more worse than that, right?
So do you eat more when you're stressed about something then?
Probably when I don't sleep well, I eat more. When there's sweets around and cakes, I tend to, and then regret it afterwards. I'm sure most of us do that, but never to the extent as we're going to be covering on tonight's program.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's one thing to turn your back on someone when you feel like they've failed you, but it's quite another to turn your back on someone when things are going well, which is actually the case of our guest tonight. So why did he turn his back on God when things were going well? Well, it might come down to a type, like we're saying, of self-sabotage. Now, self-sabotaging behaviour manifests itself as creating problems for ourselves that stand in the way of our long-standing goals. Now, the most common self-sabotaging behaviours are procrastination, turning to drugs or alcohol, comfort eating, as Pastor Michael just spoke about there, and also self-harm. Now, these acts distract us from negative feelings and give us something to base our pain on that we can feel like we're in control of. Ironically, it's actually a sign of a loss of control over our lives. Now, often people who self-sabotage when things are going well subconsciously believe that they don't deserve this good fortune, and therefore they find ways to slip back into their comfort zone and run away from it completely. So it really comes down to working out why we're self-sabotaging and trying to deal, as always, with the root of the problem. Is it something you think you understand, you resonate with any of this tonight?
Yeah, I mean, whatever problem someone goes through, there's always the root issue. You have to go back and try and find out why this person is the way that they are now. And self-sabotaging, as we mentioned, it could be because of something in the past, right? It could be something to do with their upbringing. It could be a bad relationship they went through. It could have been, they were bullied at school.
Yeah.
And because of that, they're taking it out on themselves. It's like self-harming, right?
Yeah,
when
exactly.
someone self-harms, there's a reason behind that self-harm.
Exactly. And I think actually as well, if a lot of people think, if I get this job, then I'll be happy. If I go into this relationship, then I'll be happy. And I think actually what happens is they're happy for a short period of time, but then the problem comes back. And that's another reason that they end up self-sabotaging, because they're not in touch with themselves. So they realize that actually these external things aren't going to just make them happy in the long run. It's always going to be short-lived until they deal with the problem.
Mm-hmm. So what we want to do tonight is to help you. And as always, we always mention about faith. Now, if you are hurting yourself, if you know that relationships breaking up wasn't the cause of it wasn't because of your partner, you admit it's you, but you keep on doing the same thing. So what is the underlying issue? Now, with faith, with God's help, you can get to the root of this problem. Not just relationships, it could be you're self-sabotaging your career, right? Your success, because you just don't get up in the morning and you lose one job opportunity after the next. Maybe you are self-harming for whatever reason. Maybe you were abused when you were younger, and that could take on many forms, as we all know. But you haven't gotten over that trauma. You haven't gotten over that past hurt, that situation that maybe affected you and other people around you. But with faith, everything is possible. And with prayer, as we always do at the end of this program, a prayer can help you on the right track to being successful. Instead of hurting yourself, harming yourself, and harming other people, hurting other people around you, you can be happy in life. If you'd like to give us a call tonight, if you want help, if you want some advice on this topic, you are hurting yourself, you're a danger to yourself, then please pick up the phone, give us a call. The number's on the screen. It's 0207 686 6300. That's 0207 686 6300. Someone will be at the end of the line to listen to you, to take your call, will advise you, and if you would like a prayer, you can also receive that as well. If you'd like to contact us on social media, Rachel, how can they do that?
Yes, why don't you tell us what kind of self-sabotaging behaviour you've indulged in? Let us know. Do get in touch with us. You can find us on Facebook if you search Finding Answers. It's the same on Instagram if you search Finding Answers. And if you look us up on YouTube, you can also find all of our old episodes there.
So, please do contact us in one way or another. And if you have a success story, like to share your story on social media, then you can do so as well and help other people maybe who've gone through a similar situation that you went through yourself. So Rachel, I'm going to throw this question back at you. Have you ever self-sabotaged at all?
Ooh, it's a good question. Have I self-sabotaged? I think maybe when I was younger, actually we were speaking because our guest tonight is a chef as well. And I feel like when I worked as a waitress, I would sometimes self-sabotage in that job, maybe because I wasn't enjoying the job anyway. So I would end up self-sabotaging then, just even though I knew I was doing things wrong, I would do it because I wasn't enjoying the job in the first place, kind of a thing. So maybe that would be...
So what type of things did you do?
I would turn up late to work, which was very bad. I became lazy with my time management of turning up to the waitressing job, and I think I was far too clumsy to be a waitress anyway. That was the first thing. But yeah, I feel like I would self-sabotage in little ways, just because I wasn't sure of what I was doing, or I was feeling a bit lost at the time. But again, it's like we said, once you actually realise what it is you want to do or what it is you should be doing, and you find that motivation, then everything does and can change, I think.
I mean, there are certain situations, as Rachel said, she's over it now, right? She changed jobs, things were better for her. But maybe it's a pattern in life. It's continually going on. You move from one job to the next, and it's the same thing. One relationship to the next, it's the same thing. You might even move place, from one country to another, and yet you don't have this peace. You still beat yourself up regarding what has happened to you. So stay tuned, because after the break, we'll meet my guest for this evening, a young gentleman who self-sabotaged, even though he knew God, but still he couldn't find the right way out until he got help. Join us after the break, where you're going to hear his story. We'll see you after this.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.
I was depressed for many years, but not anymore. And now it's my turn to help you lead a happier and healthier life.
Watch The Chrissy B Show on MyTV.
Melting polar ice caps, droughts, and rising sea levels. Climate change brings global disasters, and human activities are part of the problem. But people around the world are looking for ways to address the threat.
Watch Global 3000 on MyTV. The Day provides current news and affairs background analysis.
A growing number of migrants crossed the Serbian-Hungarian border.
There is no doubt about it.
Understand top stories, get professional expertise, statistics and video footage that will give a full insight into the world's most recent issues. Get information in its most complete form. Watch The Day on MyTV. Meet the amazing SUV Jaguar, the stylish Fiat, a vintage VW, a sporty Honda, and the Green Smart ED. Drive it, test it, know it. We have cars for any taste. Explore vehicles and their features with our weekly show. Watch Drive It on MyTV.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.
Good evening, welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, let's introduce you to my guest for this evening. His name is Luke Powell.
Pushed me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Welcome to the program, Luke.
Thank you, nice to be here.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Now, you are still quite young, right?
Yes, I'm 18.
18 years old. And as we said, you are training now to be a chef?
Yes, I'm in my third and final year of college in Victoria, where I'm learning to be a chef.
Okay, so let's go back now. Everything started for you quite well. As I mentioned, you were already going to a church, right? A place of worship.
Yes, I already grew up knowing about faith and God. So nothing was as new to me in a sense of being forced into it. I grew up knowing, learning and being taught about it.
But things started to go wrong, right? And that's why the program tonight is called Self-Sabotage, right? Even though things were kind of working out for you. So tell us, when did things start to actually go wrong for you?
Things started to go wrong at the age maybe of, that was in year 5-ish, so that's 10. So
around 10 years old?
Around 10.
Okay.
Because really I couldn't start reading until I was 8 years old because I didn't know how to read simple words, or it was a mess for me. But from then I learned how to read. My parents taught me, help at school. But from the age of 10, it's when I chose to sabotage myself.
Right.
It's when I will put myself down. I knew stuff, but I want to be with my friends. So I should have been in a more advanced situation, but because my friends were in a certain class, I wanted to be with them. So I'll lower my motivation down, so I won't be where I was meant to be. I'll push myself, but just to crave this attention, just to be with a certain group of people.
Right. So that's kind of normal, right? You want to fit in with your friends, with the crowd.
Yeah.
You want to be popular. You want to be, you know, with everyone else. And as you said, your friends were in another class or another group?
Yes, they were in another group.
You said you found it difficult to read. Did that play a part? Did you think you weren't good enough? You were a slow child? Did any of that have an effect on you?
It didn't really affect me because I didn't really understand what it meant.
Right.
But when I started to learn, when I was being taught how to read, I realised how it was affecting me, how simple books kids my age were able to read. I always found it very difficult to read.
Did any of the kids, and you know, when kids are young, they say what they see, right? Their words can be very harsh. So were you kind of bullied or mocked at school because you couldn't read properly?
I wasn't bullied because I'll say they didn't know.
Right.
Because the teachers knew, but they wouldn't make it obvious. They'll take me out separately. They'll work with me in a different room.
Okay.
So the students wouldn't know where I was going, what I was doing.
Right.
So she wouldn't make me read out loud in front of the class. So it was more kept between me, my teacher, and my parents. Okay. So I wasn't bullied about it because no one knew about it.
Okay. So you're saying your friends were in another class, you were there. What did that lead you to do?
That led me to sabotage myself in a way of not doing the work as I should be. So I would know the answers, but maybe I would, you know, add the incorrect one there just in case, you know, just so I could go down a bit to be in the same level as them in class, joking around. So, because I'll know the work. The work was, it was easy to me. It was all right for me.
So just let me stop here. Did that mean you deliberately wanted to be put down a level so you can be with your friends?
That's basically what I was doing. I was putting myself down just to be with my friends, just to joke around with them. Because when they weren't there, all the teachers would say I was doing well, I was progressing. But when they were there, that's when I used to joke around. I used to have fun.
Would you say you were easily influenced?
Yes, I was easily influenced.
Right. So where did that lead you to? Because I'm sure it just didn't happen in school. Do you used to hang around with these guys, friends of yours, outside of school?
Yes, but that started later on, because around the age of, I'll say 12, 13, I was allowed to go out with my friends to play in the area. Because when I was younger, my parents wouldn't let me leave the house. Yeah. But at that age of 12 to 13, I would leave the house with my friends. My parents say, don't go to this area, but I'll still go there. I'll go to the park, even though my parents say, no, don't go to the park. I'll take my bike, I'll ride to the park, we'll play football in the park. I'll come home later sometimes than I should be. Right. So it was...
What did you guys used to get up to then? I'm assuming it's all guys.
Yes, all guys.
What did you guys used to get up to when you would go around your area or other areas?
We used to rob shops.
Really?
Yeah, there was about 2 shops that were our main targets, because their camera, we know about their camera system, it wasn't that good. Their CCTV was broken. So we used to maybe go around with a little bit of money, buy one thing, someone go and buy one thing, while the others go around and take stuff from the shop, and then we'll walk out together.
And you were what, 12, 13 years old at this time?
Yeah, this actually started before when I was younger. But this was before school. When I was younger, I used to do this. But when I started to go out with my friends, it was more easier.
And these were the same friends at school?
Yeah, same friends at school. Around. Yeah.
So you used to shoplift?
Shoplift, yes.
And what we're talking about, sweets?
Yeah, sweets. Because there was little corner shops. I was young, so I'll take sweets, drinks, anything that could fit in my pocket. Yeah. Basically, yeah.
What else did you do? What else did you guys get up to?
We used to on streets, quiet streets, we'll go there, play football. But these streets, even though they were quiet, there was cars parked over. So when we play football, you know, we'll hit a car window or anything like that. So once we hit a window, we'll run away. So I was making noise or being like a disturbance, if that makes sense. Yeah. So we weren't being respectful.
Let me ask you, did you ever carry, or any of you carry any weapons?
No, none of us carried weapons, no.
Nothing like that. You're just normal boys, right?
Yeah.
Just being innocent, but still going down the wrong way.
Yeah.
Pastor Bruno, welcome to the program.
Hi, good evening, Pastor Michael.
We see if a young boy or even a girl, if they don't get guidance or help, because as Luke said, he grew up in church, but that doesn't mean that you're going to live a life, you know, like a saint. There are influences. So he started to have influence. He was influenced by his friends. But if a person doesn't get help or guided in the right direction, it could lead up to more serious things in the future, right?
Yes, and Pastor Michael, more often than not, these are not only youth doing that. You find many adults going down this path as well, trying to please others, people pleasers, the so-called people pleasers. For example, people who are in a relationship, and because they are afraid of being alone, they submit to whatever the partner wants them to. Yeah. Even abuse, even verbal abuse, even violence, you know. And they go with it because they are afraid of losing that friendship or relationship. There are many adults living this reality today. And it's dangerous for young people, it's dangerous for adults, it's dangerous for everyone.
And when a person, Pastor Bruno, they continue in, we're talking about relationships, as you mentioned, when they continue in that relationship, of course, it will lead eventually to self-sabotage, right? They will hurt themselves. If they end that relationship, they'll end up looking for someone to replace that person that they've lost.
The problem is that the person is losing their own identity. So the person is losing that sense of self-value. Yeah. You know, and when the person loses the sense of self-value, the person will settle just for anything. Anything will do. And that's dangerous, like I said.
Did you ever think that way? Did you ever think to yourself, Luke, you know, I'm going down this wrong path. Your parents, I assume, didn't know what you were doing, how you behaved in school.
No, they didn't know.
Did you ever actually get caught? Did the teachers call up your parents to the school, or did you ever get caught shoplifting? Did anything serious like that happen?
Once I got caught, but I wasn't shoplifting in a shop, I was in school. And they had like a little fruit hut where little students would go to pay for little fruit, so like 20p. But me and my two friends, who were like my main friends back in the time, we went in there and one of us distracted one of them and we grabbed one and ran away. Yeah. But we didn't know that someone saw us. So the teachers were called and they saw us running around the playground, basically distributing the fruits. But after that we got caught, my parents got called in, and I didn't get anything serious because like I was new into this kind of thing, but my parents, that's the only time my parents ever found out after that.
I assume they were disappointed.
Yeah, they were disappointed.
And did that stop you?
No, it didn't stop me because I was just at the beginning, so it got worse as I got older.
What was the worst situation or incident that you got yourself in?
I would say one time I was with a group of friends and we were walking home, and basically we smashed someone's window. So we were walking home from school and my friend had a meal in his hand, but he didn't want it anymore, so it was too hard or something like that. So he picked it up and he threw it, but I think everyone must have ducked, like bent down, and it missed everyone and it smashed the window. Right. And we didn't know what happened from there because we all ran away. Yeah. That's probably the worst situation that I ever see myself in.
Like I mentioned, you know, it could get, if things don't stop the way, or in that time, it would have gone a lot worse. Where would you see yourself if you didn't get help? Where would you see yourself heading towards?
I would say I'll see myself maybe doing drugs, because the friends that I used to hang out with, what they're doing now is exactly what I'm saying, they're doing drugs.
You still see them around, do you?
Yeah, I still see them. Yeah. A couple of them, some of them moved out of town, some of them are in different countries, but I still see them around and they don't look the same. They're doing drugs, they're with other crowds, drinking, out late. So they would influence me and I would have been exactly like that. Yeah. Because it's the same thing.
We see, Pastor Bruno, with God, and we're going to talk about this after the break, how Luke got help. But if God doesn't intervene, or if the person doesn't look for God for help, their lives will go downhill, right?
Yes, Pastor Michael, there are many people who think that problems like this, it's not something that I can go to God for help. Mm-hmm. They think it's not something I should pray about. It's not something that God can help me with. Well, Jesus said, come to me, all those who are weary and heavy laden. So it doesn't matter what this burden is. It is a burden. Jesus is ready to help this person.
And don't think, if you're watching at home, you that have a son maybe his age, don't think this is just a phase that they're going through. Because, as I said, it can lead to a bigger, more serious incident. He could have taken drugs. He could have been like his friends. Do you know what happens? If people don't get help when they do, they could end up committing more serious crimes. They could end up in prison for, anything, right? So with God, God wants to help you, whether you are a teen, whether you are an adult, as Pastor Bruno mentioned, and you are self-sabotaging yourself. You are hurting yourself and you're in a cycle and you don't know how to break out of this cycle. Well, Luke found the answer. He found it in God. And after the break, you're going to hear how he found help at such a young age. And it's never too late. You could be my grandmother, the age of my grandmother. You can still get help. So please stay with us. After the break, we're going to hear how Luke changed his life around. We'll see you after this.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.
Time is an illusion. There is only the now.
So now's a good time?
Oh.
She with you?
I thought she was with you.
If it's in the cinema, it's on screen. On screen, on My TV. Get all the recent news updates with France 24. Watch France 24 on My TV. Football, football and football. More football than ever. Championships and Bundesliga legends are closer than you think with Kickoff. Watch Kickoff on My TV. Latest digital inventions, cyber concerns and much more uncovered in Shift. Everything you need to know about the modern digital world. Watch Shift on My TV.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, before we hear how Luke turned his life around, let's have a look at what people said on the streets of London.
So why do you think people self-sabotage when things are going well for them?
I think because as a society we're a bit unsure of perfection. That's why we're always unsure as what we need. So I think that when we reach points of happiness, we always find a way to make it imperfect. And maybe it's just human nature in that sense.
Do you do it yourself?
No, I don't do it myself.
I think that people self-sabotage because everything that we're immersed in the society today is very much like about being perfect, and I think then it's very easy to find imperfection in everything that you're doing, because I think humans are insecure anyway, and when you're shown all these perfect images or perfect love stories in films and all that kind of stuff, then you're just kind of prone to look at where am I going wrong? Why do I not have this? And then actually something that's not there becomes there. And I think we just don't accept that things don't have to be perfect.
That's a very good question. I have never understood it, because when things are going well, I just feel I'm going to move my life forward and make advantage of it. For many years of my life, I was dating a man who was an alcoholic, and when things were very happy and we were walking along, he'd suddenly just fly off and spoil the whole occasion. I have fond memories of walking down the promenade in Bournemouth and feeling really happy, and then suddenly I'm in some big argument, and it's like he spoilt it just for no apparent reason. I never could understand it. I was with the man for 3 years, lived with him, but I never could understand it.
Yeah, so it's not something you've experienced yourself, but it's something, well, it's not something you've done yourself, but you've seen it, you've witnessed it firsthand.
That's right. I just don't understand why anybody would want to do that. Life is all too short, and there's too much to live for. There's too many things to experience, too much to see, too many people to get to know. To spoil things for yourself, it must show some sort of issues which I don't think I'll ever understand.
Is there anything that you would do to kind of go to, you know, the government or the NHS boards to kind of help young people deal with mental health issues regarding this type of thing? Because I think, you know, you only kind of believe what you see in the media and what you see in the social network. So is there anything that you would do to kind of divert this course of justice?
A very good question indeed. Yes, there are things that you can do with young people and mental health. And there are good initiatives out there. And I do suggest, if you are young or you know someone that's young, that you do find professional help, whether that be counselling or any of the other services. But there is another option as well, as things are getting out of hand with young people mental health, starting from a very young age. There's always prayer as well. And that's something that we offer at the end of this program. And that's what Luke also received, right, Luke?
Yes.
So tell us, how did you get help? We already covered that you were going to a place of worship,
yes,
right? Which your parents were going to, and you went there. But despite all of this happening to you, you decided to change. Is that correct?
Yes.
How did you decide to change? Was it because you got into trouble? Or you just thought, you know what, it's time to change, time to fix up my life?
Well, I decided to change after I went to secondary school, but not straight away, like midway. And I didn't like failing, I didn't like getting bad grades. Because that's when people start to make fun of you, when your potential was high, but you weren't reaching it.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents would be disappointed. I could see that they were disappointed.
Yeah.
And it was just a case of I didn't want them to be disappointed with me anymore. So I had to make a decision to use my full potential.
And I take it that both your parents, you know, you had a father around, you had a mother around. They were supportive of you. They were, you know, helping you out, right?
Yes.
Giving you words of encouragement, right? They weren't bad examples for you. So seeing that, I'm sure that must have played a big part in your decision as well.
Yes, because it's not like I had no dad or no mum around. I had both of them around. So it was a case of me not trying, but they were trying for me.
Right.
And it was basically like I was forcing the failure, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So instead of me actually forcing to fail, I was going with the help that they were giving me. I was taking their advice into consideration.
Right.
And I was making myself progress from further and further to my maximum potential.
So tell us, what kind of help did you get when you actually took your faith seriously?
Well, the place of worship that I went to, they had a youth group inside.
Yeah.
Where members from there will help me, encourage me, show me belief, like how I must believe in myself, which helped play a part because my mum and my dad at home were helping me, and when I leave the house and go to place of worship, there'll be people in there helping me as well. So that everywhere I went, even at school, there was people believing in me.
And I think at your age, you need people your age, positive role models, if I can say that, your age, that you can look up to and say, you know what, if they could change, then there's hope for me as well. Is that what you got there as well?
Yes, I got those people, even my age and people older than me that I saw, where when they were in my situation, my age, where they were able to change their life and where they were able to take themselves out of the situation and better themselves.
To be honest with you, Luke, what you're saying is quite tame, because I'm sure Pastor Bruno's heard a lot of worse stories of young people who've got themselves into gangs and drugs and jail even, right? But they found help. So you decided, you know what, if this person can change, I can also change as well. It's just a matter of making the decision.
Yes, it's like what you said, like the people that had a worse situation than me who I learnt from. Yeah. And because they were even worse than me, I realized that, okay, if they could change, it should be more easier for me to change. Even though it'll be hard, but it won't be as difficult as them who came out of prison, who did drugs, you know, who got people pregnant. So for me, it was hard, but I looked at them for advice on how I could change my situation.
They changed their life around, right?
Yes.
And are these people today your friends? The ones that you heard that they changed their life around?
Yes, I'm still close with them. I still talk with them. They still give me advice.
So tell us then, for this person watching at home, what did you have to do in order to change? Of course, there must have been prayer involved, right?
Yes.
But were you advised? Were you counselled? What did you have to do at school, at college? Now you're going to be amongst these people. It had to be tough for you to say, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore.
I would say it's down to me making the decision. Even though I knew as well, that going to school would be hard to like cut off the fence straight away. It wasn't going to be easy. It wasn't going to be like an overnight thing. It was a process, step by step. So there's this case of me cutting them off slowly, and doing my part. So believing in myself, knowing that I had a belief at home, at the place of worship, and at school from the teachers. It was just down to me believing in myself now, me having this belief to, you know, use my maximum potential to do my best.
Yeah.
So just me cutting off those around me. Like when they were joking around, find a quiet place to work.
You literally had to do that?
Yes.
Now, I don't know what the language they use now, but do they call you, I don't know the word now. They must have called you names because you're going to go to the library instead of let's go and rob a shop or something like that, right? Were you called names?
They'll call me like boring, not extreme names, but they'll most of the time laugh at me saying, no, this could be left till later, knowing that later will never come. Yeah. So this maybe called boring, you know, I'm no fun no more.
And if you hadn't made that decision, you could have been easily influenced yet again and gone off with them, and who knows what could have happened, right? Yeah. But you decided, I'm going to go and do something more positive. Yeah. I'm going to do something. I'm going to invest in myself, in my future, in my career, in my studies, right? Right. How is Luke today, and what are you doing today, by the way?
Well, from even a young age, since primary school, I wanted to be a chef.
Really?
So, yeah, but I wasn't working towards it because, you know, I was putting myself down. Yeah. So in secondary school, I picked up food tech, which was one of my GCSE options, where I took that seriously, but near the end. So it was where teachers, they would help me, they would give me advice, and they showed me, my mum and the teachers showed me the best college in the country to be a chef. So we applied for there, and today I actually got into the college, but it was through the help and the belief that I gave in myself.
So now you are studying?
I'm studying, yes, in college now.
In college, and you're also, it's like, what's the word? Vocational, it's hands-on, right?
Yes.
You are cooking in an
actual restaurant in my
really?
college. Yes.
Okay, and what's your aim? What's your plans for the future?
Well, because it's my third and final year of the college, because it's a 3-year course, I want to go on to not own a restaurant straight away, I want to still practice. So work in a restaurant, pick up recipes, learn about management in the catering industry. Yes. To then further on to go and own my own restaurant.
And when you open your restaurant, you have to invite me to come along and sample your food, right?
Yes.
Luke, thank you very much for coming and sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
So you see, someone who through faith was able to turn their life around at such a young age. And it's never too late for you, no matter your age. Pastor Bruno, with God, there is always a second, third, fourth chance, right?
Yes, but don't leave it for too late. Rather do it now than leave it for later. Like he said in a moment, sometimes you leave it something for later, and then later never comes. So do this change now. We'll be praying for you at the end of this program, and you can call us, our helpline, give your name up for prayer, and we'll be including you in this prayer, you who needs this extra strength. Some people just need an extra push. Some people just need an extra strength to come out of this situation they're in, putting themselves down, you know, and it's possible through faith.
Yep. So, as Pastor Bruno said, stay with us because we will be praying for you right after this break, okay? We'll see you in a few minutes.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.
The matters of the heart are the most bothersome.
We like to explore in details what people have been through, what couples have been through, so that we can highlight some points.
Learn to love intelligently. Watch Love Talk on MyTV. Meet the amazing SUV Jaguar, the stylish Fiat, a vintage VW, a sporty Honda, and the green smart ED. Drive it, test it, know it. We have cars for any taste. Explore vehicles and their features with our weekly show. Watch Drive It on MyTV.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort, and homework from you.
Watch The Chrissy B Show on MyTV.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, just before the break, we heard Luke's story of how, through faith, he turned his life around. And if you are self-sabotaging, then this is the moment where you can get help. Pastor Bruno, Luke found help in God. He used his faith. And it doesn't matter what this person is going through at home. As we mentioned in the beginning, you might be in an abusive relationship. You might be self-harming. You might not like yourself. Whatever the situation may be, it doesn't matter what you're going through. All that matters is that you can find help. This cycle of destruction can stop, right?
Sure. And Pastor Michael, it's very important that the person also gets to know himself. Because there are people who self-sabotage because they're going through an identity crisis. They don't know who they are. For example, there are people who make bad decisions and they don't trust the decision making anymore. Mm-hmm. They know they're in the habit of making bad decisions. And these bad decisions will, as a consequence, bring problems in their lives. Yeah. Other people, there are others who break promises. You know, when you break promises towards others, you break the trust that people have in you, so people will not trust you. But when you break the promises you make to yourself, you know, you are destroying your own self-trust, your self-belief. Yeah. And this lack of identity, of knowing who you are, of finding your true self, make many people sabotage themselves. And of course, they can find help in faith, because faith makes us understand this, and faith makes us see life in a more clear way, if I can say so, that the person can then know where I'm coming from and where he's going to.
You know what? There's so many negative things around us that want to literally hurt us and destroy us. So why have your finger on a self-destruct button? There's no point. You can get help in no matter what you're going through, all right? And that's why we're going to pray now for you. God, if you allow him to, can intervene in your life and help you get to the root of the problem, find the root of the problem. If it's something hurting inside of you, that problem, that spirit, that feeling can be removed right now if you give God a chance now to come in. Right now, we're going to prepare ourselves because it's time for prayer.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer concerning your family and loved ones, send your name and prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
My Lord and my God, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, we enter in your presence together with this viewer at home now. My Lord, we have people who have been putting their finger on the self-destruct button. This person who's been harming themselves, and not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, my God. This person who is in this cycle, my Lord, and they don't know how to break this cycle of failure, this cycle, my Lord, of harming themselves, of putting themselves down. As one woman said, she was in that relationship with her partner who would just shout at her and argue with her. And maybe, my God, this is this person now. My God, we know this is not the way this person wants to be. It's not the way that you created us to be. But if this person cannot find an answer, they can't find a solution, then my God, this is the perfect opportunity, a prayer. We know that prayer, my God, can deal with problems that a man cannot, an expert, my Lord, a doctor, a psychologist cannot do, my Lord. Only through faith in you. So I pray now for this person who maybe they are drinking now. They are, my God, about to light up a spliff. They're about to inject themselves with drugs. They're about to lose their temper and call up someone they love and shout down that phone. Maybe that relative or friend is in another room and that cycle keeps happening at the same time every single day or night. My Lord, remove any evil. If there's anything that's been influencing this person to act the way that they do, then remove this negativity now from their physical bodies, from their soul, from their spirit, from their mind. Remove that anger. Remove, my God, yes, this spirit of sabotage, self-sabotage, and help them, my God, to find peace within themselves. Help them to find, my Lord, the answer to this problem. And even though we are here in our studios, but your spirit can visit this person now. So touch this person, my God, right now, my Lord, and remove this pain, remove this hurt in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. My God, we pray and we determine a sign. Right now, touch this person and show them a sign that they are not alone. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, I say to you, receive now the peace that we have, the joy that we have. Yes, the calmness, the sincere, the peace that we have every single day. Receive it right now in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. And if you believe God is with you, if you believe that this prayer is being heard by God and He's answering you right now, say, Amen. Well, there you have it. Another prayer, another program of finding answers here to help you. I would just like to remind you, our phone lines will still be open if you want to give us a call. If you like an extra prayer, like to talk to someone, then you can do so. The number's on your screen. It's 0207 686 6300. I would like to leave you now with one last testimony. Someone, again, who through faith was able to break the self-sabotage. See you on the next Finding Answers.
This programme is brought to you by UCKG.